Hello everybody and welcome. Today I have finally found a best of one build that I can be a little less ashamed of. This one is by the courtesy of my friend Manuel, with whom I've been working with to try to fine-tune this build, and I believe we have finally created the ultimate version of the Black-White Vampires deck. This is a deck for best of one, and we're going to take a look at the methods on improving with this deck. So without further ado, let us begin. This is our first turn, and I'm going first. We start with a Swamp. We have a pretty decent hand, obviously, with the Danto Vanguard, Legion's End as our removal. In the previous iterations, this deck was lacking a few removals, and we have fixed that by adding Legion's End and this figure to the original mix. So we are getting hit on turn 2 with Thought Erasure. I do remember this one being a pretty good game. It looks like we're dealing with Esper Midrange or Esper Control, which is also another popular build in Best of One. Now our opponent knows what he has in hand. Now let's pause here for a second. Was that really the best move? If we played Legion 10, it would be the same thing, yeah. Okay, I think... okay. Well, same amount of damage. However, it does expose the Legion Lieutenant, which I do want removed quickly. Okay, yes. I would not have had gained life, but it looks like my opponent has missed his land drop. Okay, that's a pretty big disruption. However, considering it is Esper midrange, this is not that big of a deal. We're getting a little mana flooded there. And this is a pretty classic example of just how this deck plays. You've got some Adanto Vanguard unremoved, and then you keep buffing up that good old Adanto Vanguard. Next thing you know, you have an kind of indestructible force of nature. So that was the first game. I did not particularly see... Now let's pause for a second and analyze. Was dropping that Legion's the best move? I would say so, because it still does the same amount of damage and exposes the other one before. So let's look at another game. This time we start with 4 lands, a decent hand. Now we want to save our Scoured Barrens for after I've played Bloodthirsty Aerialist. A wonderful combo, Sanctum Seeker and Bloodthirsty Aerialist with just enough mana to play them all. Okay, looks like we once again face against Esper Control. Our opponent has unwittingly contributed his lack of Thought Erasure. Could have caused some problems. Let's see, Bloodthirsty Aerialist goes down. Of course, he's going to get hit with Bloodthirsty Aerialist is going to get hit with the first removal, and that was no removal. That was a small Teferi. Let's take a look. No, the right move to play would be, yep, Bloodthirsty Aerialist and Scoured Barrens. Yeah, let's get rid of that Teferi as soon as possible, because if he plays Oath of Kaya, that will delay the game long enough to cause some problems. Hero of Precinct 1! Something, a blast from the past a few months ago. Okay, so now he knows we've got 2 Sanctum Seekers, a Swamp, and a Legion's End. The most logical thing for him to do would be to remove Legion's End. That is what he did. Seeker. And this is why this synergy is so good. Life is not going to be a factor in this matchup. He needs to remove the Bloodthirsty Aerialist quickly. Otherwise, as it stands now, next turn will be his last. Teferi.
Let's slow this down.
Very well.
Here we go.
As expected. Ah. Now, I expect that he does have a Tyrant Scorn, so I don't want to hit that Hero Precinct 1 too quickly, and Tyrant Scorn would hit my Bloodthirsty Aerialist. And since he's already low on health, we do not really need to remove. Alright, now we're on the final sprint. Turn target creature. Now I cannot cast spells on instant speed because it's small Teferi. Very impressive, except I should have played Disfigure. That is the mistake that I made. I should have played Disfigure on this one. Now, if he cannot, yep, he's gonna remove that one. Should have played Disfigure on that.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
So here, I know that he has, at least I'm assuming he has the Tyrant Scorn. I'm gonna make a little gamble. See if I can go for the win. Yep, I made another mistake. I should have casted this figure on his Hero Precinct 1. This is why we watch these things. See, had I casted that, this match would not have been an issue right now. He would not have created that token, and I would have been way ahead.
This might be a bad idea.
And match is swinging in his favor. Yeah, big Teferi can be a problem.
If you show remorse, no time for a break.
Since in a control matchup, life total is not going to be as big of an issue, we sacrifice our 4 life to take out a token. Well, lost a Citadel. Not a very good move to play when you're at 6 life. Regardless, still might be useful. If he bounces Bloodthirsty Aerialist and then -3s. Yeah, I could be in a bad shape. And I would say this was mostly because I have mistimed that Disfigure. One move has spiraled the things out of control.
Oh, I've done the hero thing.
4 damage. Got 2 down to Vanguards, and I don't think that is gonna save me. Yep. And that is basically... Yeah, that miscasted Disfigure, that mistimed Disfigure has indeed caused me the loss. Well, I had not realized that had I not watched this one before. Well, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.